Dear videographer, today I have an amazing success story to share with you. It's from my student Kyle Mann. He's in my coaching program, the Video Business Academy, and he has achieved tremendous things. But let me actually show you and let him speak. So let's go. All right, Kyle, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm super looking forward to this interview. But introduce yourself real quick. Who are you? How long have you been making videos and where are you from?
Yeah, so my name is Kyle Mann. I've been doing videos I've been making videos, as long as I can remember. I made a Kyle Mann, the Science Man, if you guys remember Bill Nye, the Science Guy. Yeah, that was my first ever video back in middle school.
I'm super sorry. Literally, my internet just disconnected for some reason. I heard everything until the Kyle Man, the Science Man.
Well, that
So,
was
so
the
let's
best
pick
part.
it up from there. Let's pick it up from there again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so middle school, Kyle Mann, the Science Man. And then was creative all through middle school and high school with videos. But I took a break, convinced myself I was a logical person. I didn't have any creativity whatsoever, and then was reunited with the video again about 6 years ago. And yeah, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, so just
That's
south of
crazy.
Nashville, Tennessee.
So from thinking you're a logical person to now running a video business that it becomes more and more successful. And speaking of that
Yeah.
being successful, I mean, let the people know. They're always wondering, like, what are the things that have changed since you joined the Video Business Academy? You told me that you were doing about 1K, 1.5K a month before you joined. And now you
Mhm.
just hit a pretty massive 1.5K, 1.4K month last month, which is amazing. But what has changed, man? What has changed?
Yeah, so that 1.5K, the money I was making before the first ever video retainer client, my first ever video client since coming back to creativity was a friend of mine, and I charged him $1,000 a month for 4 YouTube videos that were like between 15 minutes long ish.
Holy.
And yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I was thankful for it. You know, he's a good friend of mine. It helped his business. Um, but really, I was struggling with having the conversation of how do I raise my rates. I'd read books like Win Without Pitching, and I understood value-based pricing, but I didn't know, I couldn't get myself up here. I had it, but in practice, I didn't have it. So when I saw one of your videos and I saw the interview with Seymour Mack, I was like, okay, this sounds exactly like the same situation that I'm in. Maybe, maybe this is a step that I need to take to get to where I can have difficult conversations, to where I can get the retainer clients that I want. I currently have a wife and 2 kids. You know, I have to think about it. I just quit my job 6 months ago, uh, doing video work, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I wanted to feel that again. And yeah, it was the best thing was, man, it's hard to pick one thing that was the best thing. The coaching was super cool. That's probably been, man, the coaching and the courses. I mean, they just complement each other very well, because I'll go in and dive deep on the courses, and then I'll have these questions that based on my unique circumstance, that you can't address in a course, or at least you'd have a ton of videos to be able to put out to address every single issue. So I would get on these coaching calls and I'd just be able to bring them up. And between the business mindset and the business questions, the
Business
business
mastery
calls and the
call.
mindset calls, yeah, those two just complement each other very well. You know, if I had issues with my habits or I mean, really anything. I mean, it's just been huge help. So I would say, I mean, it's really hard to pick one thing, but that combination of the course with the getting the knowledge down, and then the accountability to make sure that you get it done. And that's another thing too. I mean, so it's just been all around everything that I needed to take um my business from where it was, which wasn't great. I had enough savings left out, so I was like, I had a little bit of runway to be able to figure something out, but I was just having difficulty having those conversations and um,
Yeah.
really upgrading my business the way it needed to be upgraded.
Yeah, and I mean, I told you before, I want to be as transparent as possible, and I know that you put in a pause actually with
Mhm.
us because of your situation. Can you tell the viewers a little bit more about that, just so they understand what's going on or what has been going on?
Yeah. So one of the first wins that I had, it was a big win, I took that $1,000 a month retainer client and I turned him into a $3,500 a month retainer client.
Nice.
And then I also landed another 1K a month retainer client, which is, it takes about 2 hours of filming every month, and a couple hours of editing total. So it's getting to $4,500 a month is huge. But the problem with that timing is that I had about 3 weeks between when I was going to do my second half of my payment and when I'd actually that money from those retainer clients would hit my account. So it was tough because I definitely felt like I was, I don't know if failure is the right word, but I definitely failed to some degree. On one hand, it's this paradoxical thing where I was super pumped that I'd landed these retainer clients, but it also was like, well, there's this, like, I didn't quite make it. It was just, it felt, it was bittersweet, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is that I had talked with, in the chat, I mentioned that I was like, hey, like, I'm not going to be able to make that payment. And that was hard. I spent like several hours. It may have even been like a day or two, knowing that was going to happen, that I was going to have that conversation of like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that second payment, at least not, it's going to be a few weeks. And, we had a conversation and it was going to be put on pause, it was good because I was able to really put in a lot of extra work on some editing, but I could definitely tell that I could feel the course in like the coaching calls and the courses. Like I felt, empty is a bit of an extreme word, but I definitely felt a degree of emptiness. I was like, man, I had all this progress. Things are going good. And so, but it was a minor setback. And I got on a call with Jay and we talked about it. And that's one of the cool things about the program that, like I mentioned earlier, it's just that accountability and the encouragement. And like, yes, it was a setback, but it's not the setback. It's not permanent. And yeah, that was really cool. So it was definitely not my finest moment, but now that we have these retainer client, now I have this retainer client, these two retainer clients paying, like, that's knowing that bills are paid every month and my kids can go to the school that they want to go to. It's not, definitely, I haven't reached my ultimate goal yet, but within a couple months of being, or within a month.
What's the ultimate?
Yeah.
What is the ultimate?
It was my goal. So my first goal is 10K a month. That is,
you're
and I
close.
actually have it.
That close.
Dude, I'm so close. I think one more retainer client. I'm thinking, like, if I can get one big retainer client. I had one that was like teetering on the edge of like 5-6K a month, which would have been, real nice. But he's a hard cookie to crack. So there's still hope.
Yeah, we're gonna get that over. We're gonna get that over to
100%.
get over the finish line. Nice. So you now made 8.5K or 8.4K last month, which, if you calculate it up, if you do the math, this is 100K a year. If you replicate that for 12 months, that's 100K a year. So you already reached that first milestone. Now, obviously, the 10K months is juicy because it's 5 figures, right? But
right.
There's so much more room to grow. You've been in the program you haven't been here for that long, probably like active. What was it, 2-3 months?
Like a month. I think it's been like a month and a half. I don't think I've
or a month and a half.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. After a month and a half, you're already hitting your first $100,000 kind of like pace month, and it's incredible. Like, think about it, what's happening in the next 4 months, because you're just replicating the things that are successful, the things that you're just doing more of it, and now suddenly you're hitting 10K months, 15K months, maybe even a 20K month, depending on if you can close that big retainer or not. So I believe in it. What would you say? Like, there are many people who watch these success interviews, right? And they go like, well, all right, so there's this Kyle guy, there's the Nick guy, they met on the internet. And for some reason, now Nick showed Kyle how to run a video business, and now suddenly he makes more money. Sounds like a magic trick or like a scam, can't be real. What would you tell such a person?
Right. Man, it does take a leap of faith to a degree, but I did my research. I looked you guys up on every review site that I could find. I watched the success stories, but ultimately I knew that if I was going to change my business, I would have to I'd have to go into this program. And again, I had a lot of comfort though, just seeing the other testimonials and the reviews. I didn't see anything negative. And I also, based off of Nick, some of the things that you were saying, like you were connecting with a lot of the points. I'm like, okay, like either this is a scam or like this is legitimately helping people. And if I were to look at it, like which one hurts me more, not doing the program or getting into a program and that's a scam that sets me back a little bit. But like the upside is changing my life and my business forever. So yeah, I mean, there was a small degree of doubt. I mean, that didn't go away until I was in the program. And then I started looking, I was like, wow, there are so many courses and the coaching calls. I'm like, okay, there's no way that with all these people, this is not some elaborate scheme where they fill a class full of other people. Because the thing is, you meet other videographers just like you, and like there's a community of people, and that instantly went away. And I'm like, okay, there's absolutely no way that this is a scam. And then also too, the practices and it is magic to a degree because you're like, oh wow, like I didn't know anything, and now I know I have access to all of this information and all of these resources. So it's magic in that way, but it does take work, and it's not easy by any means. But I didn't want it to be easy because nothing worth having comes without some sort of fight. So I knew going into it that I was going to have to dig in and actually do some work, and that's true, but it has a payoff.
100%. It's simple but not easy. Like you have a step-by-step guide, but you still got to put in the work. If you would join the program, if you would go into the Video Business Academy and you don't put in the work, nothing's going to happen. Well,
yeah.
So that's why we make you put in the work by holding you accountable.
Yeah, that's been key. The accountability has been nice. There's been times like, okay, I'm going to stay up a little bit late. It kind of feels like a little bit like homework, like your teacher's checking your homework. And, but that's good. You need that. Like you need that because otherwise, you get complacent and you don't want to do that.
100%. Let's talk a bit about the kind of videos that you make. I mean, what is in example, let's talk about the big retailer that you're currently having. Mm-hmm. What kind of videos are you producing there and what are the deliverables?
So Nick, I have to give you all the credit for this one. I actually took one of your social posts that you put on there. It was here's an idea, 20 reels a month for $3,500 a month. Nice. It was like, I can't remember what. Yeah. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, well, this kind of fits. Before I was doing 4 YouTube videos. The past retainer client that I upgraded, that I upsold, he went to 20 reels a month. We film it all in one day. And
so it's talking head videos.
Talking head videos. Now we incorporated a couple different formats where we have like a React type format. We have quotes, and then we have like tips, like numbered tips. But I added 2 formats, like 2 days a week, where it's just B-roll of our shoot day of him like laughing, doing things like just general day in the life type stuff, and I put some tips over it. So they're but most of the time it's talking head, and we call them smart moves, but they are him just hitting a topic. We have a strategy call the month prior. We go over what worked before, what we're looking to do next month, and the topics that we want to cover, the struggles that he has in his business. How can we address them? How can we solve them? And then the same is true with that other client with that 4 reels a month. It's a just talking head. Takes a couple hours to film, a couple hours to edit, and it's pretty simple.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that we talk about it, because when I posted that post that you apparently took and applied, which is good, I had many people get back to me, be like, yo, you're crazy, 20 videos for 3.5K, that's nuts. And I'm like, dude, we're talking about talking head videos, not you go out and film B-roll at location X, Y, and Z. Like that doesn't make any sense. That will be much more expensive. But for a project like this, where you literally go once a month, shoot 20 videos, and edit them like this, easy, 3.5K a month, 4K a month, 5K a month, even, like, so doable, right? And I mean, great job for taking that and implementing it. Now you get to reap the benefits. Do you have a certain contract runtime with them, or is it like unlimited?
It's It's for 1 year, but I've been working with him for 3 years already.
Yep.
So as long as we continue to deliver value, then he's in it for the long haul. And I think he understands his strategy is where is to be top of mind. So
Yep.
when people think, real estate in our area, he wants to be the first person that comes to people's mind, and we're doing that through personal branding type, lifestyle type videos.
Oh,
So we incorporate his wife into it, and his family into it. So it's we came up with the pillars of his personal brand, and all the content revolves around that.
nice.
So
Yeah, epic. And how did that make you feel when you closed that deal? I mean, it's a multi five-figure deal.
yeah, man. Well, it was definitely weight off the shoulder. So it was a little bit of sigh of relief, and there was also some celebration. Admittedly, I'm not the best at celebrating. I'm too critical, self-critical for that. So that you have that moment, you're like, yes, now it's back to work. So it was, but to go from not knowing if we're going to be able to pay the bills to knowing that every month it's taken care of, at least for the foreseeable future, for the next year, that's that peace of mind with having the family and be able to build, and that can be a foundation. And that I can find other people who I can, take that $3,500 package and turn it into a $4,500 or a $5,500 package. That confidence, first of all, of knowing that, wow, okay, I can sell this. Like, people do need this, because we get so caught up in what we do on the technical, on our side of things, on the creator side of things, that we forget how valuable those services are to businesses who make much more money off the investment they put into their videos. So that was eye-opening. Yeah, I mean, it's just the peace of mind and the confidence that comes with it is super huge.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I believe that you're gonna actually get many, many more, even higher paying clients this year, just because of the fact that you are now, like, you have your mind at ease. I mean, bills are taken care of. Everything that you do now is profit, technically, right? Obviously, if you do
Yeah.
the in-depth calculation, it's not all profit, but technically it is, because you don't have more bills to pay. So
Yeah.
that's great. It's amazing. What are you looking to do with the money when you're doing like 10K a month, 15K a month?
Man. So I do want to build out. The first thing I'm doing is I'm adding to the team. So I do want to get an editor. So that's going to be the first thing that I do. And then from there, have some sort of virtual assistant or an assistant, somebody either in-house or remote, that can do a lot of the back of house type stuff, a lot of the admin stuff.
Yeah.
Really, for professionally, that's just going to use. I just want to go after cool things, cool people doing cool things. Like, that's my ultimate goal. Like, what are the businesses that are doing something that's really cool that I enjoy as well? Because I feel like at that point you can kind of pick and choose a little bit more of who you're working with, and you have a little bit more flexibility there. And on a personal level, me and my family, we've always wanted to travel, convert a school bus and go on road trips. Growing up, that's what I traveled across the country so many different times, and I've been all over the world, and I haven't been able to give my family that opportunity yet. So I really want to take my kids, and especially if we have shoots, I'd love to be able to pair the two, where if I have a shoot internationally, that I can take them and increase and expand their worldview and my wife's worldview, and let them know all of the amazing things that are out in the world, and to be able to give them that, because I built a business that supports it and that can run for the most part without me having to be there, is that's the ultimate goal. That's really what I want for my family.
I
So
love it. I love it. That's great. That's amazing. And invest into the video agency expert program. I'm kidding.
yeah, well, I mean, it's only a matter of time, man.
It's always a
It's
matter of
only a
time.
matter of time.
No, but amazing. Like, absolutely love your story, and love seeing the growth that you're having. And I know for a fact it's going to be so much more. So somebody who watches this, who was in the situation where you have been in, probably they're making like 1K a month, probably no money at all, probably have had a couple $500 shoots, whatever. What would you say to somebody like that, just to inspire them now that you're enlightened?
Yeah. Man, it's really tough when you're in that situation because you're in a survival situation. Every decision you make is reactionary. You take the job because you have to. You say yes to the client because you have to, and they're in control of everything that you do, and you have to listen because you have to pay your bills. But the other side of that is that you have freedom just on the other side of being proactive. And the best way that you can be proactive is to invest in yourself and in your business. And that's hard to think because you think when you look at paying for coaching, you're like, but I can barely pay my bills. The way I had to look at it is that it's such a short investment. When you say short, you look at the expanse of the rest of your life and the rest of your career. If for the next 6 months, I can cut a few different things that, and I'm only coming from the position of like, if you're in a survival situation where you're like, you have just enough to where you put a little bit back every month to save to be able to afford something like this course. When you're in that situation, I had to look at it. I was like, okay, can I go without some luxuries for just a little bit? And I'm thinking like for the next 6 months, can I go without certain luxuries? Little did I know that 2 months later, like that's not even, that's way out the window. So I think that the only way you can get yourself out of that situation is to be proactive and to make the investment in yourself and in your business. Because the thing is, there's so much money in the world. Going from that scarcity to abundance mindset, thinking that like you have to scrape every dollar that you find versus knowing that there's so much money out in the world, especially in the world of business, where people are dropping $30,000 on a video, not even blinking, not even thinking about it. Like that seems so foreign to you before you enter the program. And that's huge because first you're going to get your mindset right. And that was the part that I really loved is from the get-go, before you learned anything, any technical business, it's like, okay, we have to get your mind right. Because that sets the tone for everything moving forward. That sets the tone for your success. That sets the tone for everything. So if I can encourage somebody that's in that position and you feel like this is going to be the way it is forever, and that because you've been in that rut for so long, like you have to take that first step to invest in yourself and in your business, because on the other side of it is freedom, and it's having joy back in your work again, be able to like wake up in the morning and be able to say like, I'm excited to do this. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool. And money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does buy you time, and it does buy you cool things. It does buy you fun. And that is, given the circumstances, no money, no fun, and money and fun, like I'm going to choose the money and the fun. So
well, 100%.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
100%. Love it. Yeah, very nicely put. But now this person is going to be like, yeah, it sounds cool, but you're a paid actor for sure. to be able,
yeah, I expect a check after this. No.
Yes, to be able to distinct from that and knowing that you're not a paid actor. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Kyle is Positive, yep. Facebook Kyle Mann, and then I currently have my 360 video website, actualitybr.com. But it's that was my 360 side of things. I'm doing traditional video now, but yeah, Kyle is Positive. That's the best place to find me on Instagram.
All right, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, Kyle, and wish you much further success.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for taking the time and actually watching this full interview. I hope you got a lot of inspiration from it. I mean, Kyle is absolutely crushing it. He's building momentum and he will fly this year. Obviously, also go check him out online if you want to verify that it's truly a videographer, as obviously all of my coaching students are. And if you're interested in joining my coaching program, then you can check out my free video training that I recorded and linked right next to me. You can watch it right now. It explains how you can add an additional $10,000 a month to your video business within the next 60 to 90 days and do so with a 100% success guarantee. So see you there.